Even in death, the children had reshaped the city. They forced Atlanta to reckon with its image, not as the city too busy to hate, but as a city finally forced to stop and listen. The media and the murders. From the beginning, the role of the media in the Atlanta child murders was a double-edged sword. On one hand, press coverage helped bring national attention to a crisis Atlanta officials were slow to acknowledge. On the other, the sensationalism, racial bias, and uneven reporting shaped public perception in ways that harmed victims and complicated the truth. In the earliest days of the killings, local black newspapers like the Atlanta Voice and the Atlanta Daily World were the first to sound the alarm. They ran front-page stories with headlines like, "Another black child missing, who is next?" But mainstream outlets, including the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and national networks, were slow to catch on. The early disappearances were labeled as runaways, reinforcing the false belief that poor black children simply vanished by choice. It wasn't until late 1980, after the murder count passed 10, that CBS, NBC, and ABC began extensive coverage. CNN, founded in Atlanta just months earlier, used the crisis to develop live, 24-hour news coverage, establishing itself as a national player. The tone of the reporting was often panic-driven. Serial killer on the loose, city in chaos, Atlanta terrorized. Images of sobbing mothers and body bags dominated the screen. But the names and stories of the victims were often reduced to blurbs. Some reporters, notably Tony Brown and Ed Gordon from Bet News, tried to push beyond the headlines. They interviewed families, dug into police failures, and questioned the narrative that Wayne Williams was solely responsible. When Williams was arrested, the media pivoted again, portraying him as an oddball, a loner, a genius gone mad. Reporters obsessed over his musical equipment and wiretapping devices, painting him as some kind of urban Bond villain. The trial was a media circus. Every moment in court was broadcast, every slip in Williams' testimony dissected. The public, overwhelmed with grief and eager for a resolution, was told again and again, this was the man, case closed. Years later, many journalists admitted the coverage had been flawed, rushed, and complicit in helping law enforcement shut the case quickly. We wanted a villain, one retired anchor said. And once we had one, we stopped asking questions. Unresolved cases. While Wayne Williams was convicted of 2 murders and linked unofficially to more than 20 others, many cases remain unsolved or heavily disputed. The list includes Angel Lanier, 12, found strangled with her hands tied, possibly sexually assaulted. No forensic